All right, everyone. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that comes up a lot on the stream, especially with how much enhancing we've done. We've done a good amount of Blackstar enhancing as well. And one of the materials, the most important one that you actually need for Blackstar enhancing is Massive Pure Magic. Now, the thing is, Massive Pure Magic is bound. You cannot buy it on the market. You cannot sell it. So if you want to do a lot of Blackstar enhancing yourself, then you're going to need a lot of Massive Pure Magic, or there's actually another option that you can do to save a ton of Massive Pure Magic. And this is a very, very common option that a lot of people actually do because they want to do Blackstar enhancing themselves and they don't have enough Massive Pure Magic. And I throw out these values like Massive Pure Magic is worth, 20 million or 30 million. Where did these numbers come from? Why is it worth this much and not that much, especially considering that you can't sell it on the market? Well, you could still kind of calculate the approximate value of Massive Pure Magic based on, first of all, obviously how much potential you have to make money from Blackstar enhancing, but also based off of this very common option that a lot of people go through to end up using cronstones on duo to try attempts to save on Massive Pure Magic. And just to kind of visualize this a little bit better, basically what you're doing when you end up cronning Blackstar, going from duo to try, is you're basically buying Massive Pure Magic. I know that might seem a little bit strange, but hear it out this way. What you're basically doing is you're spending 100 cronstones to skip out what is probably the most tedious, annoying, and Massive Pure Magic consuming step of enhancing, and that's going to be going from Pry to Duo. So you spend 100 cronstones, you skip out that step, which you have to go through a lot, and in the long term, that's going to end up saving you a ridiculous amount of Massive Pure Magic for Blackstar enhancing. So you're just swapping out cronstones for Massive Pure Magic. Now, you also do end up saving some durability loss and some fail stacks along the way, but there are a couple of options why you might not want to, or a couple of reasons why you might not want to go down this road. And I wanted to do a breakdown here, which will also kind of give you a breakdown of basically what you are spending on buying Massive Pure Magic when it comes to cronning duo to try. So I have this nifty little chart here, which is really awesome. If you guys want to go ahead and bookmark it, take a screenshot, or just, come back to the video and reference it later. This chart here will show you how much cronstone it's going to take in order to do basically all the enhancing. I'm not sure if it's 100% updated, but it's updated enough to have Blackstar enhancing right here towards the top. So you can see Blackstar main hand, it's going to take 100 cronstones to go from duo to try. Now, there's two different options as well. Later on, you can go try to tet and tet to pen. However, I'm not going to get into that in this video. I already tried, and it made the video so long that we're just going to focus on the most common option that people do, and that's going to be the first one here for 100 cronstones, and that is going from duo to try. So basically, when you get to duo, what you're doing when you spend these 100 cronstones is you are preventing yourself from degrading when you fail, which means that every attempt you now save yourself of having to go back to that first step and get back up from Pry to duo. Now, Pry to Duo is not really that difficult. It's a pretty high chance. If we actually go to this website now, which is also very awesome, this has all the calculations for enhancing. You can type in your fail stack and look up the type of stuff that you're working on. It'll give you the chances to succeed and whatnot. But if we go to Blackstar and we just go to Duo, which is going to be Pry to Duo attempts, the most common stack and the stack that I would generally recommend for Pry to Duo Blackstar is going to be like basically 35. That's kind of like the perfect stack. You can go a little bit lower, like I'd say 32 is probably about the lowest. It's kind of the lower level that you can do. You can also go higher as well. You can go up to like 38 or so. I'd try not to go too much above 40 at that point. You're just going to eat up all your 40 stacks, and 40 stacks start to become very, very valuable, especially considering they can be used for accessories. But I would also not go too much lower, because at that point now, you're lowering your chances and you're going to really start to eat up a lot of Massive Pure Magic by going with the lower stack, as well as taking a lot of durability loss. And remember, Blackstar takes double durability loss compared to just regular boss gear, so you really want to give yourself as high of a chance to succeed as possible to save on durability and also save on Massive Pure Magic, but also not eat a stack that is way too high. So roughly 35 is the right benchmark there, and you can see that that's going to give you almost a 50% chance to end up going from Pry to Duo. So basically what this means is when you normally end up failing Duo, you have to go back down to Pry and you have to do this step again to get back to Duo for every single Duo attempt. Because your prided duo has about a 50% chance to succeed, every single attempt that you do in Blackstar enhancing, no matter what level, it's going to use a massive pure magic for the material. So basically, when you cronstone duo to try, you save yourself doing this step here, which takes an average of about 2 attempts, and you basically save 2 massive pure magic every single time that you use 100 cronstones from duo to try. It's actually a little bit more than that, because you can see with the 35 stack, it's actually 47.84% and not quite 50. So it's a little closer to like 2.2 massive pure magic. But if we do a breakdown here, what is the actual cost in order to end up going from pride to duo? Let's even go into more detail here so you can kind of get like a value essentially of what you are essentially buying massive pure magic for when you do this. So now if we use like a 35 stack, keep in mind that skipping out on this step, we're also going to not have to use a 35 stack basically every single pride to duo attempt. However, though, there is a major downside, and this is the reason why I generally lean more towards don't cronstone duo to try rather than do it. And that's because even though, yes, we will save ourselves all of these 35 stacks or so, 35 stacks are, not too difficult to end up making. Their value is not really that high, probably like, anywhere in the benchmark of 15 to 40 million or so. The thing is that when we cron going from duo to try, we prevent ourselves from building fail stacks here. And the fail stack levels when you're working on your duo to try attempts are going to be much more valuable than the stack that we essentially use going from pride to duo and the stack levels that we get there. Like these levels, you're going to be using like roughly like 50 is kind of the bare minimum, roughly 60, possibly even up to 70 or so to do your duo to try attempts. Every time we fail these, we're building much more valuable fail stack levels, which unfortunately we lose that option there when we use cronstones. So keep that in mind, and this is my personal reason why I still generally recommend for most people, especially now with the Elvia servers being out and massive pure magic being even easier to get, I still lean more towards the don't do this option unless you really want to craft it yourself, you really don't have a lot of massive pure magic, you don't really have a ton of patience to accumulate it over time, because no matter how you look at it, massive pure magic is going to be a relatively slow grind. Like you're never going to get like hundreds and hundreds of it in an extremely short period of time. It's a little bit less of a good option now compared to even a couple of weeks ago. But getting back here, if we actually do the breakdown, we're looking at with the 35 stack, we're going to be looking at roughly a, let's see, so it's going to be pride to duo, 47.84% chance. And basically what this means is about 1 out of every 2 attempts is going to fail, and 1 out of every 2 attempts is going to succeed. So we're going to use about 2-ish massive pure magic. But also remember that the failure, this is very important, we're going to fail about 1 attempt for every attempt that we succeed. Now, on a failure, you take double durability loss, which is 20 durability for Blackstar, which means 20 memory fragments in order to repair. So basically, using cronstones is also going to save you the repair costs of going from pride to duo. And this is obviously going to depend on what region you play the game, the markets. But right now, like in NA, our memory fragments are about 1.7 million each. So you end up saving something like 20-ish durability, which is going to be about 35 million silver or so in durability loss. So what you're looking at is saving about 35 million silver or so in durability loss. You're looking to save about 2 to 2.2 massive pure magic, and you also end up saving the 35 stack every single attempt, but you give up your ability to build fail stacks going from duo to try. So it's a little difficult to put an exact value on that. So, that's going to kind of be up to your own interpretation. All I can say as somebody who does an insane amount of enhancing, and I've done a lot of enhancing lately, basically all day long, every day for the last couple of weeks now, I will tell you that the value of building up these higher stacks is much more important and valuable than the 35 stack or so that you end up using on your pride to duo attempts. So I think that it's a pretty significant part of the reason why you might want to consider not doing it. But if you're low on massive pure magic, this is an option. So when you kind of add it all up together here, if you kind of do the mathematical breakdown here, which is I always say on stream that math numbers, this is kind of the thing that I do a lot of, and well, now we have a reason to kind of get into it. So basically, if we have a 47.84% chance to succeed, which is what we do with the 35 stack, it's going to take us about 2.09, like 2.1 attempts. So we're going to have 1 success and 1.1 failures. So it's going to cost, it's going to take about 2.1 mass of pure magic. It's pretty close to 2. You could just say 2 to round it off to make your life a little bit easier. But basically what that means is that we're going to end up taking the durability only on the failures. We don't take 2 attempts worth of durability, because on the success, you do not lose durability. You only lose durability on the failure. So if we fail 1.1 attempts and we succeed 1 attempt, that means that we're going to take 20 durability loss, 1.1 times every time we go from Pride to Duo, at a cost of, this is the NA market right now, like 1.7 million per memory fragment. You're looking at about 37 million or so in durability loss on average. Now, this number is just for me and our market right now. Obviously, depending on when you watch this video, depending on what server you play, it might be a little bit different, but you should be able to get like a rough approximation for how much durability you save by using cronstones. Now, basically, what this means here is if we subtract the cost of the cronstones, and this is also something where for people who, I heard on the EU servers, it's much more difficult in order to get cronstones, but on NA here, our cronstones are basically worth 1 million silver each, because you could just end up buying costumes on the market. You can get them basically anytime you want. I have no problem buying costumes all day long on the market if that's what I want to do. So when you do that, you're basically buying costume sets for like 200 to 300 million silver that give you 200 to 300 cronstones. So you're paying 1 million per cronstone. But if you're using the vendor price for cronstones, this is a much, much worse option. I would say don't do this option ever if you are going to be using cronstones from the vendor, because now instead of being worth 1 million silver, they're worth 2 million silver each. But let's just use the 1 million silver number here. And if we're paying 1 million silver per cronstone, we have a cost of 100 million silver. And we obviously save that 30-something million silver, the 37 million silver from the durability loss. So basically, 62 million silver is what we are paying for the mass of pure magic. Now again, though, getting back to that point about the fail stack, we do also save a 35 stack. So whatever you want to value a 35 stack at, I personally probably value them. I value them lower because I build my fail stacks pretty cheaply, but if you really don't like building fail stacks, maybe you value it higher. This is going to kind of be up to your interpretation. 20 million, I'd say anywhere from 15 to like 35 billion is fine. But if we value them at like 20 million there, then basically we've got the 37 million from the durability loss, the 20 million from the fail stack, which means we're coming out to paying about 42 million per 2.2 mass of pure magic, or 2.1. So like basically 20 million per mass of pure magic. But you also give up that opportunity to build your fail stacks going from duo to try. And this is, in my opinion, these fail stacks are worth a lot more than the 20 million or whatever that you're valuing the 35 stack at. So it's kind of not fair to even include that in the calculations, because we're giving up something in return for saving that smaller stack, and we're giving up a lot more than basically what we're saving. So I'd say that this is probably a more accurate number, is like the 62.6 million, which means that if we go back to, it's going to take us 2.1 attempts here, right? Not 2.0, it was 2.1. That means that we're basically paying, 30 million per mass of pure magic if we buy our cronstones for 1 million each. Now, this is why it's so important. If you're buying your cronstones for anything more than 1 million each, this is terrible. Like already this is expensive, right? 30 million per mass of pure magic, that is not a cheap price, especially now that they are a lot easier to get. But if you're paying even more than that, oh boy, do not do this if you're paying 2 million each for cronstones, because you end up paying like over 60 million each for your mass of pure magic, and that is just absolutely not worth it at that point. But this is, hopefully enough info to kind of give you guys a bit of perspective on whether this option is worth it or not. And before we had the new grinding spots, I would say it was definitely a reasonable option considering how rare it is to get massive pure magic. But now that there's more of them available from the farming spot, I'm still going to say it's really going to be up to you. Like if you want to do the enhancing yourself, if you want to, actually go for Blackstar attempts without buying it on the market, and you don't have a lot of massive pure magic and you can't, maybe you're not patient, or you don't feel like grinding out the new spots a whole lot, and you really want to do this, well, the option is open to you, but now you basically know how much you're spending with cronstones and basically what you're spending cronstones and a bunch of silver to buy Massive Pure Magic and save yourself that option there. So I think this video was detailed enough. You guys could probably see at the end of this now why I say like this really detailed breakdown is pretty difficult to do when I'm streaming, because I've got a lot of other things going on. But now in a video format, like, it's a lot easier to kind of do a breakdown and get into the details of it, because I can really just focus on this instead of having everything else going on. So anyway, that's going to be about it. This is already probably enough info for one video, so I'm going to leave it here. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to, you know, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that YouTube stuff, and plenty more videos coming out in the future as well. I haven't really done this in a while. It's been a bit, I took a break from YouTube. Obviously, I've been streaming so much, so might be a little rusty the first couple of videos, but hopefully I'll improve in the future as I get more used to coming back. So that's going to be it. Have a great day, everyone. Hopefully this helped out, and until next time, take care, everyone.